Welcome to my channel where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election. The 2023 presidential election, as we all know, has entered the stage where everything is now in the hands of the Judiciary. That is the Election Petition Tribunal. And in this case, our center of concern is the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. It is that tribunal which is sitting at the Court of Appeal. It's the court of first instance for the presidential election disputes. From there, those who are aggrieved or who are not satisfied with the appeal court ruling will move to the Supreme Court. And you can say without certainty, no matter what the outcome of the court of first instance in presidential election petition, no matter the outcome, this 2023 presidential election will be decided by the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Now, this has raised a lot of questions. Do we trust the judiciary to do the right thing? Do we trust that the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court will do the right thing? That they will give us a verdict that will satisfy majority of Nigerians? Because, as they say in Nigeria, the court is the last hope of the common man. The common man has done his own part. He has fulfilled his civic responsibility of coming out to vote in the elections. Unfortunately, the common man was betrayed by the Independent National Electoral Commission due to its failure to follow the processes it has said it will follow. But there are those who argued that there was nothing wrong with the election, that the INEC followed the due processes. Now it is left for the Supreme Court or the Court of Appeal to tell us the truth, because the presidential candidate of Labour Party Peter Obi has his truth. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, the INEC declared president-elect, has his own truth. Atiku, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, has his own truth. The job of the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal is to find out which of these three people and even others that filed petitions have the absolute truth. Which of them have the absolute truth? And I know that the courts will do this based on evidence. Courts normally operate based on evidence, which raises the question, do we trust the courts to be able to make up for the mess that the Independent National Electoral Commission has created through the conduct of the 2023 presidential election? Do we trust the courts to be able to do this? Do the political parties and their candidates that sent petitions to the Presidential Election Tribunal trust the courts? Do Nigerians trust the courts? And do we believe that the court will do the right thing, will correct whatever anomalies that was detected in the conduct of the election by INEC? These are very strong questions to ask. But the fact of the matter remains that we have no choice in the matter except to trust in the court. Because beyond the court, the Supreme Court in particular, If you are not satisfied with the Supreme Court, you can only take the matter to God. And you know that God takes a lot of time before he looks into some of our failings. That is why you see an evil man, wicked people, succeeding, and you ask, where is God? Where is God? God is watching, trying to see whether they can change. It's not that God is oblivious of the fact that these are terrible people. Yet, they have gone ahead to suppress the poor, kill the poor, and do all kinds of evil. Yet, the judgment of God appeared to have delayed so long. So if you're not satisfied with the Supreme Court, you have to leave everything to God. Now, do we have confidence in the Supreme Court? Yes, we should have confidence in the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court is the last arbiter. It is the last man standing. And if you don't have confidence in the Supreme Court, what is the basis of going there? So by Peter Obi of the Labour Party going there, by Atiku of PDP going there, they have demonstrated confidence in the judiciary. Because if they don't have confidence in the judiciary, there will be no need for them to go there. These two men, they have enriched our legal system by their deliberate actions to seek redress in things that concern them. Atiku was a political warhorse. He went to court when he had issues with his principal, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, when he was indicted, allegedly by a panel. But the court, including the Supreme Court, ruled that the indictment of that panel was wrong, and they couldn't stop Atiku from contesting the presidential election in that year. That was in 2000, and that was before the 2007 election. Peter Obi has benefited from the courts. His mandate was stolen in 2012. He went to court. He stayed in court for 6 years. No, sorry. Yeah, for 3 years, sorry. Stayed in court for 3 years because it was in 2006 he was now pronounced by the Supreme Court to be the duly elected governor of Anambra State. When he became the governor, a year later they conducted the election again, saying that his tenure has finished. When he was just spent 1 year, he went to court, and the Supreme Court ruled that your tenure starts from the day you were sworn in. That was why today we have staggered election in Nigeria, because Peter Obi went to court to challenge the system, the corrupt system. And Obi was returned back to complete his 4 years. When he was there, he was impeached for saving money without authorization by the PDP-dominated State House of Assembly. He went to court, and the court restored him back. So there are a lot of things to really celebrate about the courts in Nigeria. They have shown that they can be on the side of the common man. Because by the time Peter Obi was defeating People's Democratic Party, People's Democratic Party was a big thing. It was like the Goliath, a behemoth, that you hardly see anyone challenging it and succeed. But Obi did. To show, which is evidence, that if you present enough believable evidence that you can defend, the Supreme Court can be able to rule in your favor. So the Supreme Court can be able to rule in Peter Obi's favor. It could be able to rule in Atiku Abakal's favor. So that the hope is not lost. But where Nigerians are concerned, I can see where Nigerians are worried. The recent judgments from the Supreme Court, in which Godswill Akpabio, former governor of Akwa Ibom State, former minister of Niger Delta, who contested and participated in the presidential primaries of the All Progressive Congress, after losing there, still went back to emerge the senatorial candidate of his senatorial zone in Akwa Ibom State. And today, he's among those being touted for Senate presidency and all whatnot. Now, these are kind of things that makes people to lose confidence, to doubt the confidence in the judiciary. How did this come about? When it is common knowledge that you cannot participate in two primaries for two different positions. You cannot buy form and participate for presidential ticket and still participate in the senatorial ticket. But that was what happened in the case of Akpabio. The same thing happened with the Senate President, Ahmed. Some other person has participated in the senatorial ticket primaries in Yobe State. What happened? Ahmed, who contested for presidency, returned back to come and claim the senatorial ticket. And it wasn't as if the person that won the primaries stepped down for him. No. At the end of the day, the Supreme Court said that Ahmed was qualified to be the senatorial candidate of his senatorial zone in Yobe State. These rulings have confounded the imagination of Nigerians, and they can't make anything out of it except to assume that this thing did not happen ordinarily. So this kind of matter raises a lot of questions about the confidence Nigerians should have in the judiciary, as we have entered the phase in which they are the only ones that can determine the way forward. And the judiciary itself, they are Nigerians. Are they going to allow what many consider the impunity, that people can disregard the processes? INEC severally told Nigerians that they are going to transmit the result from the polling unit to their iWave. They said so. Now they are claiming that electronic transmission of results is not compulsory. They can decide to choose anyone. Of course, they also put in the law. But why should they collect the presidential election result different from the senatorial and House of Representatives results that was held at the same polling units in over 176,000 polling units in Nigeria? Why should the senatorial and House of Reps results be transmitted, but the presidential is not transmitted? And you say that all is well with the result of the presidential election, given these obvious alleged malpractices. So the Supreme Court have to look at this as Nigerians, as people who want the best for their country. Are they going to reward this kind of behavior? Or are they going to pull back and say, look, wait a minute, let us re-examine this election and give the right verdict that they will defend in the presence of God. I like the way the Pastor Paul Enenche of Dunamis Church said it, that the justices should pass a judgment that they can defend in the presence of God. And I know that many of our justices are believers, either in Christianity or Islam. If that could be their watchword, that they will stand to deliver judgment that they can defend in the presence of God on the last day, then we can be sure that they will do the right thing. And like I said, the history of Nigeria's jurisprudence have shown that we have had courageous justices who were not swayed by money, who were not swayed by primitive accumulation of wealth, who are not ready to be corrupted by the politicians, who have delivered judgments that they can defend in the presence of the Almighty on the last day. That is what many Nigerians expect the judiciary to do. They should look at all the evidence that is being presented by Atiku of the PDP, Peter Obi of the Labour Party, and the defense by the APC, and come to the conclusion of what is really the truth. Who actually won the election? Who actually won the election? Who did Nigerians vote for? The Supreme Court, the Court of Appeal, should be able to do that. It is not rocket science. It is not rocket science. They can do it. The evidence they need are there. The INEC is coming there to defend the declaration it has made. But it is left for the justices to deliver judgment based on the law and the evidence. Because a whole lot of people, including the international community, are watching them. They are watching them. Don't forget, the members of the Supreme Court that rule in the case of Imo State governorship toss, in which somebody who came forth eventually became the governor of that state, were barred from United States to attend a particular conference. It was Donald Duke, the former governor of Cross River State, that revealed this secret recently. So, whatever the justices decide to do, the eyes of the international community are on them too. The eyes of Nigerians are on them too. They should do justice. There are a whole lot of issues to be addressed about the APC presidential candidate's emergence as the president-elect. What is the position of the law on getting 25% in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja? Anduaka, former Attorney General of the Federation, said that the Supreme Court has already settled the matter. If the Supreme Court has already settled the matter, then Supreme Court of today don't have much job to do on this matter again. We assume that it's a concluded matter. But then, like Anduaka pointed out, the Supreme Court may decide to change its mind. If the Supreme Court changes its mind, it must give Nigerians cogent reason why it's changing its mind from the 2008 ruling that he gave. Then there is the issue of double nomination for the vice presidential candidate of the APC and the vice president-elect as declared by INEC right now. There is the issue of dual citizenship. Dual citizenship is not even a big deal because there are conflicting reports on it, conflicting court judgments on it. But the Constitution was said that You cannot have dual citizenship and still be president of Nigeria. But that aside, that's not an issue. I think the major issue is that did Asiwaju Bola Tinubu commit perjury by not declaring that he has two dual citizenship in his INEC form? The Supreme Court will be able to tell us, the appeal court and the Supreme Court will be able to tell Nigerians more about this. Then there is the issue of alleged forfeiture of $460,000 to the United States government, proceeds of narcotic. What does the law say about forfeiture? What does the law say about indictment? What does the law say about anybody who is involved in this kind of thing becoming the president of the country? These things are not rocket science. The judiciary should be able to do justice, verdict that they can defend before God Almighty. If they can deliver judgment that they can defend before God Almighty and go to bed and sleep well without their conscience slapping them, then they have done the right thing. That is the least that Nigerians expect from them. Judgment that their conscience will be at rest. Judgment that they can defend before the God Almighty on the day of judgment. Thank God, most of the justices, almost all of them, professes to be either Muslims or Christians. They all believe in the last day. We hope that this will make them to fear God and deliver a judgment that truly reflects what happened when Nigerians filed out to vote on February 25, 2023, to elect the president of their choice. Thank you for watching this video, and if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And if you are new to my channel and you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. And when you do that, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you and yours. And don't forget to like this video, because when you like this video, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. And with more people watching it, more people will have confidence in our processes, in our judiciary, that they will do the right thing. And there will be hope for all Nigerians that the right thing will be done. That it's not all Nigerian institutions that have been bought over by the money bags who control the political machineries of our country. God bless you and yours.